I'm building a harem. The media is attacking it. Other men are constantly trying to take the girls. The women are programmed by social media for monogamy in this day and age. Level one is you need to learn how to pick up girls. And level two is you need to learn the sex.
Tony, when you were 18 back in America, you had a 44-year-old American girlfriend. What's the story there? I mean, your uncle's theory is that you and Connor Murphy killed him. What's the story, everybody? Pete here from Thairish Times. Hope you're doing well out there. So today I'm interviewing retired lawyer and bodybuilder Tony Huge, who lives in Thailand with a harem of Thai and Filipina women. And Tony is a highly controversial figure. As you can imagine, I mean, he's just saying that previous sentence, the harem of Thai and Filipina women, you know it's going to be a controversial topic. And Tony has made videos in the past which sparked absolute outrage, notably that he's training women for his harem. And in this video, I'm going to follow up with Tony about his harem. Has he created the harem he's been talking about for the last 3-4 years? Does it only exist because he has money? I'm also going to ask him, Tony has 4 daughters, and I'm also going to ask him, in say 20 years' time, if his daughters came to him and said, I met this guy from, let's just say, Japan, and he's creating a harem. He wants me to join. How would Tony feel about it? And then also, we're going to talk to Tony about the mysterious death of Tony's friend Leo in Tony's home 3 years ago. And I recently interviewed Tony's uncle, and Tony's uncle believes that Tony and Connor Murphy killed him. So we got a lot to cover in this video, folks. Let's get straight into it. Cheers. So thanks, Tony, for coming on, right? It's been a couple of years since, well, we've done one last year. I think we've done an interview nearly every year, but we started in 2022. And when I first met you, you were talking about a harem.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and it's 2026 now. Can you give us an update? Do you have a harem in Thailand? What's the latest on it?
I have a harem and it's running smoothly. And a couple of the girls, I believe, are going to be with me forever, like family, and taking good care of the children. So it's like a real, almost you could say, kind of like a Muslim harem functional family. But I had to go through a lot of different girls to get here. And I still need definitely at least one more girl. So right now I'm using what I learned, all the trial and error and mistakes and lessons to now choose the next girl. But it's still going to be a numbers game. So I'm still going to have to go through a lot of girls to find the next right one.
So how many women are in the harem? From your episodes, it's 4, but then there's two. I think there's 2 Filipina ladies as well. There's 6.
Yeah, it's hard to pinpoint a specific number because in time it changes constantly. I mean, one girl that I'm working on potentially being very long term, for example, she's in university, she's 20 years old, she's got to go to school Monday through Friday, which means she can only spend weekends with me. And then another girlfriend who's 23, who also could be lifelong partner, she has school on the weekends. So, and these are out of town, so they have to travel in to spend time with me. So then they basically like trade positions. And then, some girls, they live with their families in other parts of Thailand, and then they come spend time with me. They go back to their family, and it's just trying out the relationship. But I'd say at any given time, there's usually 5 girls in the house.
You said there that the harem is running fine, but from the Harem Quest series, it looks like there's constant drama, Tony. I mean, lately they've been fighting. Nita and Power fighting over a boob job. You paid for a boob job for Nita and not for Power. She wants to get maybe another surgery. And when they're being interviewed separately, they're insulting each other. I think Nita said Pow got Botox, and she said, "Why did she get Botox? She's got a face like a gorilla." I mean, so that's hard. So that's a lot of drama. I mean, that's those insults would point that these women don't like each other. So is it really running fine?
Well, I I've noticed that psychologically most humans need an enemy. And if they don't have an enemy, they will turn on themselves or the people around them. Like it just seems like to be a human need. So I thought for the longest time, okay, Pao is okay being the villain. She's creating all the drama, which didn't used to be that way. She used to be the least drama, but then the more she falls in love and the more, then she gets triggered easily and she becomes more of a villain. And I figured, okay, it's okay because if she's a villain, then all the other girls will team up against her and they'll create a bond amongst themselves and they'll have a common enemy. And that's just like a controlled, it's like controlling the environment to give everybody what they need psychologically. It's kind of like the Matrix movie when they said that they tried to create a matrix where human experience was just all butterflies and rainbows and happy and peace and there was no stress and the whole thing just collapsed because humans need that. So I figured having Pow was the satisfying that need. Now Pow just moved out, and it seems to be that all of the other girls are getting along perfectly, and that Pow was the only problem. And maybe just the fact that Pow created so much drama, maybe the girls will remember that, and Pow will just remain the enemy. And I can just remind them, like I do remind them on a daily basis, like remember the drama with Pow, like that's what we don't want. And that's okay. Let Pow be the enemy. The reason why there was so drama was because of Pow. Blame it all on Pow. And now this is like the peace after the storm. Now it's all peaceful. Now there's no drama. But now it's also not as exciting because the drama brings the excitement and the passion, which is fine. It's like there was a nuclear bomb cleared the battlefield, and now it's time to rebuild a new, harem style because Pow was kind of controlling the harem style before. So now it is all peaceful. It's just now it's kind of like a blank slate and it's time to rebuild. So I have options now of what style I want to rebuild it based on. But I'm keeping the rest of the core girls I'm keeping. But Pau took two of the girlfriends with her. Uh, When I was talking about how the girls they value their relationship with each other as much as they value the relationship with me, or sometimes more or sometimes less. In this case, Pau convinced the other two girls that, she's right and the other girls are wrong and they need to follow her. And she pressured and manipulated them. And Pau is the oldest of all the girls and the most experienced and the most manipulative. And she was able to convince two of the girlfriends to leave with her. So that's because I did have like seven, eight girlfriends in the house. It was a lot.
So they're
Um,
out of the harem now.
yeah, three, Pow and two other ones. The other two ones weren't really on camera that much because they don't speak English that much, and they weren't very exciting. They were just kind of homebodies and like not very dramatic characters.
Would I be right to say, Tony, if there's no money, there's no harem?
With some of the girls, absolutely. With some of the girls, money is the absolute necessity. With Sarah, it's not. In fact, I was paying Sarah like an allowance before, but I cut it a month ago because there's certain things I need that like I need a girl to be my assistant and remember my tasks for me and help me with things. And she just wasn't being very uh on the ball. She was just being really forgetful. So I said, okay, how about let's do this. I won't pressure you to, wake up a certain time and do this at a certain time. I will give you more freedom, but I cut your allowance completely. And so far it's been great. Like I can't get upset at her about anything. I'm not paying her anything. And she still does all the household duties. She still takes care of the house. She still takes amazing care of me. She has her own money. She has plenty of money, so she doesn't really need me for money. And she's bisexual, so she's like a perfect fit. She's not here for the money. She's here because this relationship allows her to have the lifestyle that she wants, and she likes my value system, and she likes being a bisexual girl in a house that she can have sex with man and women. So it's like a dream scenario for her. It's so perfect. And she just has no ego about money or anything. Like she never wants to just spend money to prove she has money like some girls do. But Pau has a huge ego about money, a huge ego about status. She's always comparing what she gets compared to the other girls. So that was definitely like money is a huge factor for her. Without money, then Pau's not in the harem. And then with Nita, I think it's not about money. Like if I give her money now, it's about the money's here if she needs it, like the feeling of security. And then other girls, when they're new and they come in and they're young girls, yeah, it's not about money like giving money. It's about going to dinner, going to massage, going to sauna, going to gym. buying them new clothes, the same kind of simping type stuff that an older guy would spoil a young girl with. Similar, it's just
If I had to
um,
pin you down and say like uh, per month, what does it cost to have a harem?
well, it's how many girls and what type of girls, and I'd say if you budgeted, I mean, it depends on level of skill. Like if you're really good with women and good with pickup and you can satisfy their needs, and but they also need to like make money because they're at their age where they should be making money. And let's say the girl could probably make let's say the girl would make $300 per month working at 7-Eleven, or she'd make $3,000 a month working at the bar, or she'd make $1,200 a month working as a lawyer. You'd probably lock her in for $700 per month. So we could have like three girls for 2,000, what is that, $2,100 per month. But then whether they're going to really be long term or not is like sometimes they want bigger things. So either having to give them the opportunities to make more money, like in my case, I try to teach them skills that they could make money with later themselves. So they feel like they're working towards something they could make more money if they want. But I also don't want to spoil them because if I give them too much money, it turns them into terrible people. Um, and they start thinking they're worth more than they are and become entitled and get egos. So it's have to be very careful about the money. I learned this also from a billionaire friend who he gives girls very little money and he could afford unlimited money, but he intentionally keeps like the amount he gives them down to an absolute minimum because he needs to like check the box that they have all their needs met and so they don't have to work another job, but no more extra money that where they would start building an ego about having money or become wasteful about money or not respectful of money. So that's why I think roughly budgeting around $700 per month per girl is the right number, factoring all that in.
So Tony, you have four daughters, okay? Just let me play devil's advocate here for a second. Imagine in 15 years' time, one of your daughters comes to you and says, "Dad, I've met this Chinese guy. He's from Hong Kong. He's got girls in Hong Kong. He's got girls in Japan, China, Thailand, Philippines. He wants to build a harem here in Thailand. He wants me to be part of the harem. Are you okay with that?"
I'd look at it from two perspectives, like what is the feeling she has about it right now, and then what is the end game? So what's she going to feel later, and is she investing in something? So if I could talk to the guy, I would say, what's your end game? Like you want a harem for what? Why?
Fulfill my sexual desires. So you talk to him and he says that. Listen, straight up, I just want full on. I love sex. I want to fulfill my sexual desires.
I would explain to my daughter that someday she's going to want family. And if this guy is thinking that now, does she really predict and is it logical and reasonable to think that he is going to want to be that family guy for her? Or is she wasting her time and she should go be part of a harem where the guy is trying to build some kind of long-term family? And I'd explain to her that her youthful years for a woman are very valuable and she should invest them in a guy because I think the best situation is for a young girl to find a really good older guy to take care of her and make a lifelong commitment. So even though I have a harem and even though like I'm maybe considered a sexual deviant, my goals are actually very long term. So I can sit and explain this to my girls as well and my daughters or my harem girlfriends that this is actually a sustainable long term family planning arrangement. Yes, it's a lot to do with sexuality, but sexuality is also part of family. It's not the sexuality for the temporary benefit, it's also to build the relationship and build the family and have children and keep that bond strong and fulfill all of our sexual desires. So I would go through that same analysis with her that I go through my harem with my harem girlfriends because my harem girlfriends are sort of like daughters to me. It's like I treat them sort of like half as a husband would and half as a daughter would, as far as giving them perspective and life advice and helping them try to reach their potential and invest in their future.
So you're 43 now. So let's say 25 years time, you're 68. Would you, I
Yeah.
mean, you're kind of saying it's a long-term thing, but when you're 68 and you have money, Tony. So when you're 68 and you could still potentially living in Pattaya, Thailand, you could still potentially get a 20-year-old into your harem at that age because you got the money. Are you telling me when you come to that age, you'll be like when all these girls you're with now will be all in their probably late 40s at the time? Were you telling me you'll be like, oh, these are my women, I'm gonna stay with these, and I'm not gonna take this, I'm not gonna be attracted to this hot 20-year-old that I could potentially bring into my harem?
I will probably still get a hot 20-year-old into the harem when I'm older,
I knew you'd
but
say that.
I wouldn't get rid of super honest, right? It's very honest. I mean,
That's why
most
we do
guys
these,
would
Tony.
not say that. Yeah, but and also I thought about that. I thought maybe there's no rush in finding another girl because 10 years from now then I could just find another girl, and maybe that's a better decision anyways because I the ones I have are really good. Um, but I'm also attracted to older Asian girls. Sexually, like what it really excites me is Asian girls in their 40s. And the reason why I choose younger girls is because they're easier to train, they're easier to pair bond with, um, and it's it's more of like an investment into building them that I can also, and besides them enjoying it themselves being built, I can enjoy what I've built later for longer. I just found that older girls are better to start with. I mean, sex with a 40-year-old Asian girl is way better than with a 20-year-old Asian girl, usually off the bat, right out of the gate for me. And there's more easy to connect with them. They've got more experience. There's maybe even something I could learn from them. Sexually, I'm attracted to older Asian girls. But yeah, it's what happened was I've had a few older Asian girls that kind of got aged out of having children. And they can't have children anymore. And I like to be able to build the relationship before having children. But if I get a 40-year-old girl in 5 years and then try to have children and she can no longer have children anymore, it's too late. And then also the pair bonding thing is not so much about age, but it's about how many men the women have been with. I know it's really red pill to say that, but I just found that women that were with a lot more men had a lot harder time to pair bond. And what's the point of being monogamous with a girl who can't fully pair bond? And but I think a lot of guys settle for that, and I just can't settle for that. By pair bond, I mean when the girl, like when a younger girl falls in love for the first time, she becomes very obsessive and very connected, and she's thinking all day about that guy. And older women, they they have learned a different value system from the other men that they've been with, which may be I inferior or in contrast with my value system or my lifestyle, and they have a harder time pair bonding, a harder time learning. Their neuroplasticity is less. And I can biohack them. I can increase their neuroplasticity. I can fix all these things about them. But it's like instead of fixing all the damage that has been done by previous relationships, it's there's so much work to do in building someone. It's better to just start with a clean slate and build someone than it is to like have to do damage control and fix all out of their trauma. Yeah.
Tony, when you were 18 back in America, you had a 44-year-old American girlfriend. What's the story there?
Mm-hmm. Actually I was when I was 17 is when I first met and she was 42. That was yeah, so that's a statutory legal problem for her at the time, right?
Yeah.
But I just found that younger girls just they weren't very smart, they weren't very interesting, they didn't have much focus. And I found that older women were interesting. I could learn from them. They were more responsible and
But you were a kid at
harder
17,
working.
Tony. You were a kid.
Yeah, but I was not an ordinary kid though. I was at 17 I had in a lot of ways like the perspective and work discipline of a 30-year-old. So for me to be with as 17, me being with a 17-year-old girl was it felt like I was 30 being with a 16-year-old girl. Like the contrast in mental capacity was just irreconcilable. So I tried dating younger girls, but it was just so boring, so uninteresting. And then I met this girl who was really smart and extremely hardworking and like a workaholic. And I was like, all right, this is a teammate that I can actually build stuff with. I mean, I don't know if every man feels this way, but I feel like, and I'm looking for a partner. And back then I was more monogamous. I was looking for a partner who I could actually build stuff with, but I don't want to carry all the weight myself. I want someone to actually build with me. Now it's a little bit different because I'm older and, you know, and I have I can build stuff a lot more than someone younger who has less resources, less experience. So I have to do most of the building. But back then I was thinking like, okay, we have to build something together. I'm going to choose someone who can actually build with me. And that's an older girl. Yeah.
She was actually murdered, wasn't she?
Yeah. Yeah.
How'd that happen?
Well, her boyfriend after me was just got out of prison. And so he was already, a violent criminal. And she wasn't the most stable person. She, worked herself she was an extremely hard worker, like to the point of being insanely hardworking. And she was also not like really balanced, not a really balanced person. So I imagine they got into a fight and, they both being intense people. Yeah. He,
Yeah, he
I
shot her,
mean,
was he? How did he kill her?
with a hammer,
Jesus.
smashed her up. Yeah, yeah.
And I presume he's still in prison.
Probably. Don't know. Yeah.
All right, okay, Tony, looksmaxing, right? I only came across this word recently, maybe a month or two ago. So there's going to be lots of people that are watching this and say, "What the hell is looksmaxing?" Can you just explain to people what it is?
Making yourself look better, but sometimes making yourself look so much better that it's, past the law of diminishing returns. So, of course, everybody looks max to some extent. You get a haircut, you shave, you put skin cream on. Like these are like maybe the smallest versions of looks maxing. But these people have become very famous for looks maxing. They have taken it to the extreme to where they're, using tools to hit the side of their face and grow bone in certain areas that are scientifically determined to be make more attractive features and
Let me just
facial.
stop you there. So yeah, because that's what guys are doing. They get these little metal things and they will bang on their cheeks a couple of times a day or whatever. And what does that do? It grows the cheekbones, makes them have a different shape.
Yeah, so the scientists say that you're more attractive if you have really strong bones right here and a really strong jaw right here and chin. And so these are the places right here. The way they grow this is by hitting it with a golf ball or a hammer or something metal or hard. And then there's a split of opinion. Some people think it actually grows the bone. Connor Murphy's theory, which I agree with, is the very least it creates fibrosis, like scar tissue under the skin. And then that would be like filler, but more permanent filler and filler that stays in the location versus normal filler. You inject it and it kind of flows out. So you lose your masculine shape. It just makes your face look softer. So the looks maxers don't use filler, but filler is very popular. Everybody's doing filler. Nobody looks down on filler, but then everybody looks down on the looks maxers who are actually using a more scientific approach of actually just increasing the parts that make a man look more attractive.
And what are you doing? You're wearing mascara.
Yeah, that was interesting because my mom saw the video of me putting mascara on. Androgenic and Connor Murphy came over, and Androgenic is the number two most famous looks maxer right now, clavicular being number one. And I asked Androgenic, what's the easiest, simple thing I could do to make myself look more attractive? And he said, mascara, hands down, easiest thing. Done, done. And I did that in a video with him, and then my mom saw it, and my mom said, son, I've been telling you to wear mascara your whole life and you didn't listen to me. And now you're doing it because this guy, I'm like, what? I don't remember. Oh, maybe I do remember that. I think my mom did tell me to put mascara on. And that's funny because usually my mom watches my content and she's like, oh, I can't believe you're doing this. Oh, I didn't teach you that. I didn't raise you like this. But the mascara thing she actually agreed with. And to me, I didn't think it was so crazy. I mean, if you can just like this and it's done in a few seconds and make yourself look noticeably more attractive, why not? I mean, women put makeup on for hours, and I just had to boom boom, and then it's like I look noticeably better. And my mom said the reason why I should do it is because my eyelashes are really thin, and it makes a big difference if you just thicken up your eyelashes a little bit. Now, if someone already has nice eyelashes, then they don't need to do anything, right? But if you have weak eyelashes, why not bring them up? I think most men don't they would never notice that I had it on, but they would notice like something looks better. Like I do look noticeably better when I put the mascara on.
Are you putting it on every day?
No, it's even though it only takes a second, I still just don't like having to be that high maintenance. But if I'm going to go on a date with a new girl, you better believe I'm putting my mascara on.
And have any Thai girls noticed? Have they said, "Oh, Tony, you got beautiful eyes," or have they just not noticed?
I notice I get a lot more eye contact, and maybe it's placebo effect, but when I put the mascara on and I'm talking to a girl, I notice her looking in my eye, and I notice like maybe if I had to quantify it, maybe she finds me 20% more attractive when looking into my eye. So I think this area is really important for attractiveness to a woman if you've got her attention right here, like the eyebrows and the eyelashes, and also getting rid of wrinkles around the eyes with Botox.
Your friend Connor Murphy had an eyebrow transplant, and he's been eating a hard wad of bubble gum to build his jaw, and he's using that technique to break down the bone or whatever in the cheeks. And I mean, he's. I'll show it before and after on the screen now. He does look a lot different. But what do you think of his look? Do you think he's looks max or whatever the phrase is?
Well, he doesn't really care about his looks that much because he's already been so attractive his whole life. It's never been a limiting factor. Women are always attracted to him, and young men always aspired to be him. He was the number one fitness influencer in the world, 10, 12 years ago, something like that. And so he's never like been unattractive. And most of the looks maxers do it because they were unattractive and they want to become attractive. But he's doing it as almost satire, just like to see how far he can take it as an experiment. And also because he likes to help keep people grounded. So even when he was the number one fitness influencer in the world, then he went crazy after it seemed like he went crazy afterwards, but really he wanted to try to show the world, but I think he overestimated people's attention span. He wanted to try to show the world that developing the perfect physique is not the answer to happiness. And I don't think he should have taken that Brandon angle, but that's his passion, right? He's a little bit of a kind of a contrarian. So he's doing the same thing with looks maxing is he's like, hey, I've already got like a decent frame. What if I take this to the extreme and I just build? And he's smashing his cheekbones every day with golf balls, and he's smashing his chin every day with golf balls, and he's chewing this big wad of rubber gum all the time. And he's developed the largest, I think they're called masseter muscles, probably I've ever seen. I mean, you see his videos, he looks like a chipmunk with nuts in his cheek. It just looks so far beyond attractive. It looks weird, but that's what he's trying to do. He's trying to take it to the extreme, and it's working, and people notice. And I have to say, like the girl, when he flexes it, it's so big, it's ridiculous. But if he's just walking around like normal, it looks interesting. But he did go to the doctor, and the doctor said he had tumors. And he's like, no, I don't have tumors. I just built these muscles. And the doctor was like, no, it's not possible to build the muscles that much. You have tumors.
Wasn't he messing around with his penis as well? Wasn't he trying to grow his penis?
Yeah, he did, and again, he took that to the extreme and injured his penis. And yeah, he just like any muscle, anything in the body, you want to create enough damage to result in growth, but not damage that's going to result in scar tissue. So he wore a penis extension strap around his waist that squeezed it and pulled it up and around, and he wore it all day long. So of course it cut off circulation, it pulled on the skin too much, and he ended up getting, like welts and the skin ripping and just a disaster that took him a long time to heal from. So that, yeah, that was a disaster, but that's because he took it so far extreme. He's
It,
just so extreme.
is his penis fully functional now?
Yeah, it's fully functional. I think he has a little bit of scarring from it, but he is fully functional. Yeah.
And you injected Botox into your penis as well, didn't you? Just the other day.
Yeah, it was a mix of Botox and PRP, platelet-rich plasma. So they took my own blood out of the body, they spun it, they took the clear fluid out of the blood, the plasma, they mixed it with Botox, the same Botox that you would inject to get rid of fine lines and wrinkles, and then they injected it back into 6 different places on up the sides of my penis, and they numbed it first with lidocaine injections, so I didn't feel I felt the lidocaine needles going in, but I didn't feel the PRP needles because the PRP is very painful. So I luckily they numbed it very well. I didn't feel the PRP pain, and and good. Oh yeah,
What's going on there,
wow.
Tony?
Nita brought a friend over. Looks really good. Holy cow, she looks like my ex girlfriend, but even hotter. Holy cow! I don't know what the story is or where she came from, but what were we talking
Your
about?
penis, Tony, your penis. We're talking about your penis.
Yeah, I couldn't use it for, well, I tried to use it, but it was kind of like a little bit numb for maybe the numbness went away completely after 5 days or something like that. And then the penis, like it hangs a little bit bigger. So, and it's just a little bit more girthier and it's supposed to get harder, easier. Mm, I don't know if it gets harder, easier or not, but the girls say it feels a little bit bigger. So it didn't make a huge difference.
Okay, my last question on Looksmaxing. Is it just a highly toxic and scam orientated trend that exploits young, insecure men? You mentioned there that guy, Androgenic. I went on his website. He has a website where for 50 US dollars a month, people will have access to his bone expansion protocol. And I mean, is that not just designed to exploit young, insecure guys? You got some guy in Wisconsin, he's 18, 19 years old. He's not happy how he looks. He's never had a girlfriend. He's going on this website, and for 50 US dollars, he can find out how to make his cheekbones bigger and his jaw bigger and all this other stuff that this guy's flogging. Is it a scam? Yeah, what do you think?
I'd say Starbucks coffee is a scam. Costs, what is it in America, like $7 for a cup of coffee that should cost 50 cents. I think money would be better spent on coaching to look better than it would be to spend on like some frivolous, thing like this that doesn't last, that doesn't teach you anything. So it's all relative. As far as taking advantage of like the youth's insecurity, mm, I think that in the modern day and age, we live in such a synthetic environment that it's actually engineering our bodies, minds, faces to be weaker and less masculine. And a lot of this looks maxing stuff is to restore the masculinity to the appearance. But what's funny about it is that it doesn't necessarily make you more masculine. It's just the surface. It's just, it, and I think what's really missing is like teaching young men masculinity. But then again, there's like in the whole manosphere, there's you got people like Andrew Tate that are teaching men how to be more masculine. Then you got the looks maxers, how to look more masculine. And then, there's maybe a lot of different I'm promoting chemical enhancement. I would be an advocate of using performance enhancing drugs, which make a man more masculine. So it's a lot of different angles to come at the same problem, which is that the masculinity is regressing and decreasing with every generation. And this is an opportunity to restore it. And I think young men would feel more natural, happier, and more motivated if they had a way to express their masculinity, um, in the face of a culture that's trying to suppress it.
Leo longevity. So it's been 3 years since your friend Leo passed away in your home in Pathia. Is there any update on that story? I think last time we spoke, it was ruled an accidental death. Is that right?
Yeah.
And it's
Yep.
just
There's
no
no
update from
update.
there.
Nothing's happened. Yep.
Now, did you see the interview I did with your uncle?
Yeah. It was a while ago, so I don't remember everything, but I did see. Yeah.
About, yeah, maybe 6 or 7 months ago.
Yeah.
I mean, your uncle's theory is that you and Conor Murphy killed him.
Was that his theory? I don't think, because I think he said that he can't imagine me hurting a fly or something like that, probably. But I think his theory was, maybe it's just because I saw
Nope,
so many comments of
he
his.
definitely said he thinks you and Conor Murphy killed him. It was a golf club
Uh,
thing
I
involved.
thought I think he really thought that, or what he said more often than not was that we were covering up for someone, something like that. Yeah.
And then the Leo murder mystery was fabulous. I thought that was interesting to try to solve that. That took me a while. I mean, I had all
Okay,
kinds
what's
of
your
theories.
opinion then?
I After analyzing it, I think it was the strangled hooker that Leo strangled that came downstairs, and Connor and Tony were there, and Connor had his golf clubs, um, and Tony just wanted to get rid of this guy. I think the toilet was moved. I think Tony was the one trying to clean the mold around the toilet, and Leo was probably yelling him nonstop. And Tony just said, "I got to get rid of this guy. This guy's driving me nuts." So Connor Murphy came in, and they did a plan where they hired the hooker for Leo. She came down strangled, which Tony knew that would happen. And then Connor jumped in and said, "Okay, let's wait for Leo to fall asleep. We'll sneak up there and just smack him in the head with the 5 iron."
What's your opinion on it?
It's still the same. Um, Still nobody knows exactly what happened, and uh, I mean I don't think it's exactly a suicide type situation, but I think his will to live at that moment was probably very low.
Okay.
Like an accident combined with the will not to live.
So what would that be then? Is that just smashing your head off the tiles in the bathroom?
Uh, I think he was angry and frustrated he couldn't get out of the bathroom. I think he was stuck.
Okay. Was he on drugs?
Apparently not. The toxicity report said he just had alcohol in his system, and that the amount would be similar to what was in his, because he drank the night before. So like he was still maybe a little bit drunk from the night before, but not like wasted.
What's your feeling on the reaction in the kind of the fitness world? I mean, there was a lot of videos made about it at the time. A lot of fingers were pointed at you. 3 years on, you've like you said, it's been ruled an accidental death. What's your opinion on it 3 years on, the reaction that it got?
I mean, it was a very interesting experiment that I went online and was giving everybody play by play, multi-hour updates, being so transparent at the time. And I stopped doing that because the public took it the wrong way. They're like, oh, he wouldn't be like giving so much information unless he was guilty. And my mind was blown. I'm like, I'm trying to be the most transparent person ever. Like, I was ready to talk all day, every day about everything that happened, show everything on camera, everything, full transparency. And then that got taken the opposite way. And I was like, wow, there's nothing I can do to, like, how else do I? The whole point was to like give everybody all the information so that they don't have to make assumptions. And instead, it just fueled a whole bunch of conspiracy theories and made it a huge problem. And it was, yeah, really damaging and created a lot of, like, I gave so much information that it just gave people an obsession to follow it and stalk me and make it a everybody wanted to become like a detective and look into it, and they would take like 90% of what I said and then take like 10% and then say, oh, he's lying about this one or about this, or this doesn't make sense. And it's true, some things don't match up and some things don't make sense, because I wasn't like trying to build a story or anything. I was literally giving the information as I was getting it. And yeah, some things proved, other things weren't accurate, but I wasn't even trying to reconcile it. I was just trying to be totally honest.
What's your opinion then on the interview with I did with your uncle? I mean, he basically said your harem is low IQ, they're dumb, and they're not very pretty.
I could agree with that, but then when I look at like all my friends' wives, I think that my girlfriends are smarter than them, more beautiful than them. And yeah, so it's funny because I see people insulting them, but then I look at their wife and I'm like, do you like I don't know, they even have any self-awareness at all? I think something in the human brain thinks that because there's multiple women, they're not valuable. But if I had just one of them as my girlfriend and I was like, oh, she's so amazing, I'm monogamous, this is my wife, people will be like, oh, she's so beautiful, she's so smart, oh, she's so amazing. But for some reason, because they're in a harem, everybody has to just say, oh, they're all low quality.
So would it be right for you to say, well, you look at your uncle's wife and say, what are you saying? You're look at the girls I have compared to your girl. Is that what you're saying?
Anyone who criticizes it that way, but yeah, especially my uncle, yeah.
Your uncle also describes the difference between you and your brother, saying one found Jesus and the other found Lucifer.
Well, that's interesting. Yeah, my brother is the perfect model man, Catholic, Christian, goes to church and has a perfect community. I mean, he is the absolute flawless. Like, I know a lot of people that look like they're flawless from the outside, but they're not. It's a facade. I'd have to say my brother is the most flawless person I've ever met in my entire life. And he keeps his distance because he doesn't want my value system to trickle into his, but he understands it. Of course we grew up together. He understands me and what I'm doing, and he definitely sees, like, for the path that I've gone down, it's quite impressive to where I've ended up with it. It's just the opposite path of him, two totally different directions. Yeah.
Are you in contact with him?
Once in a while, not too much. I should contact him more. Yeah.
Your uncle is going to be watching this now. Do you have any message or anything you want to say to him?
Mm, I don't know. That maybe the older he gets, the more he'll understand my choices. I think despite him being so much older than me, I think I have a lot more life experience than he does. And I think if he keeps watching, he'll keep learning.
Okay. So what's the future hold then for you, Tony? Like what's in the pipeline? What do you like? Do you have any business plans coming up, or what's going on in your life?
Filming a documentary, and that's been a big project. So we'll finish filming in about a month from now, and then that'll come out, like 3 months later, something like that. I
What's the
can't really give a
documentary
lot of
about?
details.
You can't tell me.
Uh, I can just say it's sort of like getting out of the maze. It's gonna probably be uh a lot negative about me also, because it has to be, otherwise it would get censored.
And are you producing
And
it?
no, 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 no.
There's a company.
It's
You've a
much bigger.
company. It's not the BBC, is it?
No, no, but it's definitely going to be is definitely going to give a perspective that the mainstream can build rapport with, but it's also going to make them question some of their assumptions. And my goal, and the reason I'm willing to do it, even though anything I do with mainstream media is always going to put a negative spin on it in some way, is because I know some people will watch it and it will open up some people's mind and question the value system and the path that they're on, and consider uh, other alternative ways of living and perspectives that would potentially save their life or take them into a direction that is more optimal for them for the long run.
And are you still producing steroids?
I'm using steroids. I'm using peptides. I'm using SARMs. I'm using every kind of, medication that's unapproved as an experiment on myself constantly. And so that's always been my thing for since I was 30. So 13 years of extreme experimentation on chemistry on myself and yeah, advocating for it and hoping more people stick their pinky toe into chemical enhancement.
Got your harem quest on your YouTube channel. Tell us about that.
So this is and it should have a lot more views, right? It's I think it's super interesting. People who watch it think it's interesting. A lot of the same people watch every episode like a TV series. But the it's not getting a lot of new traffic because there's no like trending connection. It's just its own series about me developing the harem, and it lets you get to know the personality of the girls and the girls' interaction with themselves. And I one of the reasons I do it is because I want to raise the girls' awareness of themselves. I want them to express their emotion on camera. I want them to have their arguments on camera. I want them to see how it looks from the outside, to get audience feedback, interact with the audience. And it's working very well for that. It's definitely leveled up their perspective and mindfulness. And I think in the beginning there was more and more drama, and now I think it's going to be turning more aspirational because I think most of the drama is gone. I think the hard work is done. All of this is a work in progress. I think it's a mistake for the audience to look at it and say, "Oh, it's a disaster. I would never have a harem," because they're watching a work in progress, just like watching a house construction. And first was the foundation, and then building the walls, and then putting the roof on, the electrical, the plumbing. And so you get to watch like this thing being built. And in the end, it should be hopefully a beautiful house, or it could be burned down. It could be a disaster. Some terrible thing could happen. But it's really a reality show. It's really real. It's not like a Middle Eastern harem where the women are just raised to be in the harem and the community is supporting the harem. Like I'm building a harem with, the media is attacking it. Other men are constantly trying to take the girls. The women are programmed by social media for monogamy in this day and age. And I'm battling against Western influence. And so it's a very good learning experience. And it's something that maybe like these Manosphere guys wouldn't have time to watch the whole thing. But I think if they just saw parts of it, they would see that maybe I have enough credibility to guide them on building their actual harem. Because if I was talking with them, I could actually tell them how to get their second girlfriend, second wife, third, fourth, because the way they're thinking about it is like they know kind of what that they want a harem, but they're not quite approaching it uh, correctly. And I want to do content about that. I want to teach men how to build a harem because it's I think it's very different than people think. But it starts with a lot of the red pill stuff. But the problem is that there's not a huge audience for it because most guys need to learn pickup first. Like level one is you need to learn how to pick up girls, and level two is you need to learn the sex, and level three is you need to learn like the emotional stability and what women want and need, and so there's so many different levels to it. But I really would like to teach men how to build a harem. I see like in the future one of the higher value leverage things I could do is, let's say there was a sheik and he's got a wife and he's in a culture that could build a harem of multiple wives, and he knows he could do it with just money, but he wants to actually build it with love and build family and build loyalty and actually have like a really good experience and have the women all have sex with each other, not just one at a time. I could teach someone how to do that, and I want to teach people how to do that.
That's wild. I mean, it's wild. Just so you want to teach people how to. Okay, but I mean, in the West, like you're saying, I was thinking as you were saying that in Thailand, there is not like it's not like the Middle East. There's not like a culture of harems. But then in the past, they had that. Like the kings of Thailand would all have like a harem. I don't know what the word, the concubines and that. So, and then rich Thai guys in Thailand always have two or three girlfriends. So it's kind of there. So because is it because you're in Thailand, it's more culturally accepted, it's less frowned upon? I mean, if you try and sell this or teach these guys who are in the West, I mean, it would never happen, I don't think, in Dublin or Ireland or I don't know, I can't say for some parts of maybe some parts of America it would, Utah maybe, but like I can't see New York or something like that where some guy has like five girls living in a house together.
Yeah, it's hard. The number one reason it's hard in somewhere like New York or these, the ground zero of Western culture is the influence from other women and men. Because if you try to build a harem, all the other women will attack it. Women see the harem as the biggest threat to women, and it shouldn't be, actually. It's not like a misogynistic thing, but they see it as a threat, and then other men see it as a threat because a lot of men think, oh, if this guy has four girls, and if a lot of successful guys have four girlfriends, how's that going to leave a girlfriend for me? And so they feel scarcity, or they feel like it's so impossible they're never going to have it. It makes them nervous. So then you have these people then try to attack it, and it's already hard enough because of dealing with different girls that come from different families and cultures and styles. That is when there's attacks from outside, it makes it very hard. I see why the cult leaders move to Colorado or Utah and the wilderness and build a big house and just isolate from society, because then they could actually have a harem without outside influence, and the women would be very happy and very fulfilled. It's just the outside influence constantly attacking, and women are very sensitive to it. I mean, these my girlfriends get blasted with messages, like 20 messages per day, each of them, of a man saying, oh, if I was with you, I would treat you so much better. I can't believe you devalue yourself like this to be in a harem. But if there was none of those messages, the women would be so happy. But when they get those messages, it does shake them a little bit. And then I have to work that much harder to counteract it. I mean, I could isolate them. I could say, you're not allowed to be on social media. You're not allowed to go to the house. And they would probably listen to me. But,
They're going to get loads
uh,
of messages now after you saying that.
oh, yeah.
The
Yeah.
guy watching
And,
this
and
right now with his phone in his hands going,
I have to say, I mean, I shouldn't admit it that any guy has a chance, but I will say, like, I've lost a lot of girlfriends to guys just blasting them, telling them that they're gonna treat them so well or whatever. But I'd say, like, every girlfriend that I've lost to a guy that was simping over her has come back afterwards and said, "Oh, I realize now all men are the same. You're just honest about it." This is the same thing they say every time.
well, Tony, let's leave it on that one. We'll finish it there. All right, Tony, take it easy, right? I'll talk to you soon. Thanks
All
for
right,
doing it.
good talking to you. All
All right,
right,
cheers.
bye-bye.
Take it easy. Bye bye.